It is a Do the Right Thing reunion, and G definitely stands for gentrification. She's Gotta Have It, episode 7 and 8. We will be reviewing. Make sure you stay tuned.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Long time no see. Hi, how are you? I am your girl Nakia Monet, and this is the She's Gotta Have It Season 2 after show. And I cannot do this by myself. That's right, I have some beautiful co-hosts with me. Ladies.
Hey guys, it's Mina here.
And it's your girl, Drew Jones.
Yes. Hi, ladies. Long time no see. We literally seen each other yesterday because this is a Netflix show and the show is already out. We are trying to get these reviews out as fast as possible, so we are catching up. So right now, we're going to be talking about episodes 7 and 8, which means we only have one more episode left, which is wild. And we'll talk about that in predictions. We do have a segment for you guys, F, Marry, Kill. We say this every time, and we don't get to it. So hopefully this time we will get to it. And then Mina's going to be breaking down some of our top 3 moments from these 2 episodes. Ladies, what are your overall thoughts on episodes 7 and 8?
Yeah, I don't know why every time I watch it, it's usually one episode that sticks out more than the other, and this time it was the second one that stuck out a little bit more, even though a lot of great things did happen in part 1. With Mars figuring out who his biological dad was and just seeing his relationship with his mom and why he's a mama's boy and like how he's like kind of soft and babied, and we kind of got that before, like why he's such like a loving person. But yeah, no, I liked it. I liked both. I got a little teary-eyed, especially when the themes of like gentrification were being brought up again, and I was just like, wow, like some people really don't get it, and it's like until it happens to you, like not everyone in the world is woke where they're gonna understand what gentrification is. Or even when that white lady, the neighbor, who like, you know, she didn't realize the ramifications of her like calling about Papo being on the stoop. She's like, oh, I thought you'd get a warning, and like she doesn't understand, oh no, he's not white, he's not gonna get a warning. Like right. You know, like just the injustice of it all. I feel like these 2 episodes resonated with me so much because it was very painful to watch the reality.
Yeah. What about you, Drew? How'd you overall thoughts on both episodes?
I really, really enjoyed both these episodes. I loved getting to see Puerto Rico despite everything that's happened with Puerto Rico. I love still how Spike Lee was able to capture the beauty and the culture of it all. And it was really enjoyable to watch. It made me miss Jamaica a lot. And then the second episode, there's a lot of things that, you know, you kind of had to unpackage and like review and stuff, and I just thought it was a really powerful 2 episodes.
Yes, great overall thoughts, ladies. Retweet everything that you guys said because I feel the same way. So we'll hop into episode 7, which is Oh, Je don't know. And Je don't know. Been waiting to say that. And when I seen the name, I was like, yes, I've been waiting since Mason Cameron said it in their song. And Je don't know. So this episode is literally a love letter to Puerto Rico. Shout out to you, Spike Lee. As we know, Puerto Rico, they suffered from a devastating hurricane last year. And, you know, Puerto Rico being a part of the United States of America, our country did absolutely nothing. And I don't want to... The Puerto Ricans and everyone else who wanted to be a part of it because Jay-Z and Fat Joe took planes there, and there were celebrities and people who did things, but a country as a whole and our government did absolutely nothing. And our man Spike Lee made sure he was going to put that in the Je don't know episode.
Yeah.
Okay. So here we get Puerto Rico in its whole, and we see the culture of Puerto Rico. We see the people, and I feel like Spike got real people. I don't think any of these people were actors. We got the food, the traditions, the beauty, the music. We got Christopher Columbus history. What were your thoughts on the Puerto Rico segment?
Mars's monologue about Christopher Columbus was literally like, in my mind, one of the greatest monologues I think I've seen in television history.
It's amazing.
Like, it was just so spot on, and I was getting so hyped while I was watching it, and I was like, yeah, F Christopher Columbus. Like, I was ready to go square up on, like, this, like, dead man. But I loved it, and I loved that even though, like I said, there's so much that's happened with Puerto Rico, I love that they showed the spirit of the people, because all the Puerto Ricans I know are lit as hell, and there's such a resilience there, and I love that despite everything, there it was able to be captured.
Yeah, it was really beautiful.
Yeah, oh my God, I felt the fire inside me as well, especially when Mars was talking about how, like, you know, you stumbled upon this place and you were lost at sea and this happened, and you know, someone extends their hand out to you, and instead of being grateful that they didn't kill your ass, like, literally, like,
yes, Mina.
like, just, like, I was just, like, wow, like, it really, really resonated with me, because it's, like, you know, for years and years and years, we're being taught history in schools, you know, the Eurocentric view of history and colonialism. We're taught Christopher Columbus discovered America, and it's, like, how did someone discover a place where people were already living?
Already
like, the very term discover, you can't discover a place that people are already inhabiting.
Already existed thousands of
this
years
is
before
already here.
He showed up.
Yeah, so it's just, it's crazy that, like, now the world is catching on. Like, why are we teaching this in our schools? Why is there still a statue of Christopher Columbus in New York? Like, what is going on? Like, there needs to be progress, and it's like, well, I can understand how a Christopher Columbus statue is still in New York when we still have the KKK. Like, it's not crazy for me to be, like, so shocked and horrified at a Christopher Columbus statue, like, being there when we have way worse direct threats to, like, the very
it's something else, and that's
here.
why I think creatives like Spike showing that and putting a spotlight on it and letting us know, like, these things still exist. For me, it's really touching because my godmother's Puerto Rican, so my extended family, they're Puerto Rican. So to see all that, and I've been to Puerto Rico, and it's beautiful, and the culture and the food and the people, and growing up in Brooklyn, like, I'm Black American, but I grew up with Puerto Ricans and Jamaicans and Trinidadians, and, you know, it just gave me a good vibe, and I thought it was also cool that we got to see the different organizations that, and I really want to look more into this, that they were donating money to, like Carmelo Anthony's basketball park that he redid, and then the kids that were painting, and the women's center, they were donating pads. Like, I thought that was really, really beautiful, and it really touched my heart. But if you guys notice, Spike also sprinkled in the video of the man that sits in the White House, Trumpito,
as
throwing
Kid Mero calls it,
paper towels at the Puerto Rican people instead of helping. So I really, because, you know, we've been speaking about this since episode 1 about Puerto Rico, and I had a feeling Spike was going to do this, and I'm really grateful that he was able to do this in the shine light for the Puerto Rican people.
I also really love the addressing of Afro-Latinos, and because I thought that was really special, just because a lot of time with Latin representation, Afro-Latinos are erased, and which is weird because, I mean, as we hear the history behind Puerto Rico, you know, a vast majority of them have ancestry in Africa. There are a lot of Afro-Latinos. And so I just really appreciated seeing all these skin tones.
Beautiful.
Because that's realistic, and that's really what, you know, Puerto Ricans look like. And not all Puerto Ricans look like Gina Rodriguez, you know? And so I was just really, I don't know, I just was really hyped about that. I was really proud to have that.
Yeah, it was amazing because, you know, Spike always gives us a history lesson, and he gave us the Christopher Columbus history lesson. He gave us where the slaves were brought over to Puerto Rico. You see the art, you see I'm ready to go back to Puerto Rico.
Right.
I went for my 23rd birthday last year.
Sorry.
Hey, last year. That's what I did, and it was a good time. Drew, thank you. No. Another thing that Spike did when we get the prayer from Mars, which was really touching and beautiful, and he shined light on the young junior Lissandro Guzman Feliz, who was murdered in the Bronx last year. And I love that. I love Spike Lee. There's no secret. I love him, and I love that we got that. But we also got Mars's mother, Miss Rosie Perez.
I can't.
Now, you know, if you're a Spike Lee fan, you probably watched Do the Right Thing. So when you see Rosie Perez come from around that corner, the first thing in your mind is, okay, is this a Tina and Mookie reunion?
Right.
And then when Nola calls her Tina, I'm like, okay, Tina and Mookie had a baby and Do the Right Thing, a son. So what were your feels? How did you feel about seeing Rosie Perez? I know, Mina, you said you didn't see Do the Right Thing yet, so we try to break it down for you a little bit. But if you are a fan of Rosie Perez, how did you guys feel? And were you guys connecting? Well, for Drew, were you connecting the dots as well? And Mina, will you now go watch Do the Right Thing after?
Oh, I definitely will watch Do the Right Thing. It's something that's been brought up time and time again, and even my film classes. And I'm like, wow, how have I not seen this yet?
A lot of people haven't.
So yeah, no, I definitely want to see it, especially now that I've had a taste of of Spike Lee, and I get his directing style. I feel like it would be really interesting to see kind of where it all began, and you know, she's got like watching the original She's Gotta Have It and Do the Right Thing, and just kind of see like how things have progressed since then for him. So yeah, I definitely want to see it. And with Rosie Perez, I've seen her. She was in a show called Rise on CBS.
Yes.
Got canceled after the first season, but she was really good in that too. So yeah, no, I was excited to see her.
Perez.
And she looks like Mars looks like he would actually be her son. Like it was like such an uncanny resemblance where I was like, this was perfect casting.
Love
this
Rosie
was really
Perez.
they were like the chemistry, the mother-son chemistry was great. I was like, this really works. This is very believable.
Yeah. It was awesome. And you know, Spike recycles a lot of his old actors, so you'll see actors from like the original She's Gotta Have It or Do the Right Thing, and then they'll be in something in 2019. Like, I mean, him and Samuel L. Jackson have worked together since the beginning of time.
Facts.
And Denzel Washington. So I love that he recycles his actors. So I loved seeing Rosie Perez. What about you, Drew?
I'm such a huge Rosie Perez fan. Back when she was on Soul Train, and like she's just been through so many things. Pineapple Express, like the list goes on. She's such a New York like badass. Like she's the GOAT.
She's an icon to us.
She really is, and it's just so cool that how effortlessly he was able. I love when directors or creators can somehow incorporate their works into being in the same universe without making it forceful. Like M. Night Shyamalan is really great at like incorporating all of his movies to where they exist in the same universe. And I thought this was such a cool way to kind of bring the two movies together without it feeling forceful, because it felt very natural and it made sense to the story.
Yeah, I was literally watching it like, wait a minute.
Right?
I was like, what? Oh, okay, Spike. Oh, Tina, Mookie. And then when she finally has a conversation, she's like, your real father's Mookie. I'm like, Spike, I see what you did there. So now I'm going to go home and actually watch Do the Right Thing just to see it. And because, you know, Rosie Perez and Spike's chemistry was so great. And I also love, like I was saying to you guys, I was like, they played a couple in Do the Right Thing, but Spike plays the original Mars and She's Gotta Have It. So shout out to you, Spike. I love that. Something else I love, there's a lot of shipping going on in Puerto Rico. We have Winnie and Shemeka. And do we have a Mars and Nola? Are you guys on band with these ships? Should they be ships? How are you feeling? Do you think that Mars and Nola were bonding? Do you think that Shemeka and Winnie should be a thing?
Go ahead.
I was gonna say Shemeka and Winnie make a lot of sense. Like now they do. I don't know why I wasn't sure before, but yeah, like now they make a lot of sense to me, and just the relationship and chemistry was really endearing. Like how I feel like they're on each other's teams, and that's what you want in a relationship. You want someone who's going to be your number one teammate, and that's literally what it feels like. Someone who's going to protect her, someone she's loyal to as well, and just like when he's kind of like scared of the dark, and she's like, "Let's go out, it's fine, like this is great." I just thought that was so cute. But also with Mars and Nola, I definitely see a friendship. Like I don't see the sexual attraction that's kind of required in a relationship for it to be long lasting, but I definitely see like a lot of creative energy, a lot of love, a lot of selflessness, where he's like, you pursue your art, and she's so respectful. She's like, I'm so sorry if I led you on, and he's like, not at all, like you have your own thing you're gonna do. And I think that's beautiful because they're both so supportive of each other, but I definitely don't see it being a relationship. I see it being a very, very solid friendship in the sense that it's gonna be a lifetime friendship.
Yeah, that's a good one to have. What about you, Drew?
I love Winnie and Shemeka. They're my favorite. I will die on that hill. They're everything to me, and I would be happy with a spinoff of just them.
Yes.
But as far as the Mars and Nola thing, I think sometimes people come into your life and it's just not the right timing. And I very much think that he's everything she needs in a partner, and I think vice versa. They bring out the best in each other, and I just think it's just not good timing. But I definitely think that there's a deep love there, and I personally would see them as like ending up together later on, but it's just like she very much needs to go on this journey of like self-discovery, and he needs to grow up a little bit. And it's not a bad thing that he has such like a childlike persona, but he does need to figure out how to balance that with being responsible. So they both have things they need to check off their list, but I don't see that not being an issue for them to come around and like be together eventually.
Yes, retweet everything these ladies said. I totally agree. And this was the first time I actually got like a little serious side from Mars. And I don't know if it's him being back home, speaking with his mom, and him and Nola just having an adult conversation. Because Mars is super goofy, so you don't really hear him at all speak, really. So I thought it was really cool. But Winnie and Shemeka are my favorites. I love when Winnie tells her, like, I see something extra in you that you don't even see yourself. Triggered.
Woo!
Why can't someone say that to me?
Listen.
Yeah. So I love that, but I do agree. I think that I don't know if I can see them as a couple, but I do think he definitely has to grow up and she needs to find herself. Something really cool that Spike did as well, because we are in Puerto Rico and we're talking about Puerto Rico and Africa. We learned about the Yoruba religion, which I know a lot of people in Africa dabble in, and so Puerto Rico. And we learned about I don't want to say this wrong. Oshun and Oshun's daughter, and the daughter of Oshun, which is, if you guys know, if you've seen the Beyonce video with the yellow dress, I think she represents like beauty and love and grace. And when you see Beyonce walking with the bat, she's supposed to represent Oshun's daughter. So I thought it was really cool to shine light on the religion that a lot of people in Puerto Rico practice. I thought that was really beautiful, and the whole episode to me was beautiful. Let's go on to episode 8. It was a good episode. Yes. Episode 7. Episode 8 is on the come up, the come down, and the come around. So, let me see. Sorry, y'all. So, at this episode, we talked about Mars growing up and getting his life together. So, we do find out that Mama Tina, a.k.a. Rosie Perez, finally puts the kids on the lease, and they're back in their apartment. And Mars has a really dope conversation with his sister where he's like, you know what? I need to grow up. I'm going to handle some things. I'm going to take the lead. So, how did you guys feel about that conversation? And do you believe Mars?
I believe that he intends to do it. Whether or not he will is another story. I think his heart is in the right place. His intentions are in the right place. But I also think it's really difficult to step up to the plate as the younger sibling when you've always had the dynamic that you're the one being taken care of. And it very much seems like between the two of them, she's the big sister. She has her ish together. Like, she seems very reliable. Like, she has this persona where it's like, I'm so used to taking care of Mars. Oh, he's such a baby. Like, oh, like, I'm so used to, like, kind of cleaning up after his mess. And you feel that a little bit with their interaction, and you also feel the genuine love there. Like, you know, even though they're siblings, like, she seems like kind of like his keeper. Like, she sets him on the right track. So I think she's very skeptical. Like, okay, like, how many times have you said this? But I think he really is going to put in the effort and try. And I think things coming to light for him, like, oh, the fact that he could have been a potential father, like, it seemed like he almost got triggered again when his mom made a joke about that. About how he's pregnant or something. I feel like things are starting to, like, register with him now, where he's like, I am grown up. I do have responsibilities. I'm not just, like, gonna be, like, this starving artist who does this and this. I'm gonna make it. This is gonna happen for me. And I think when he finally got that, like, shot in the limelight where he really shone, I feel like for him it was like, okay, things are moving along. So I can't see him, like, getting more serious. I just think when you're in a dynamic where it's always been a certain way, it's very hard to, like, break that dynamic and get the respect you deserve without showing, like, visible action.
Yeah. I thought it was also really cool to see him, like, doing food deliveries, because in Do the Right Thing, Mookie delivered pizzas. So I was like, Spike, I love you.
Tying it together. I think I've never thought that Mars was irresponsible. I think that Mars is the perfect representation of working your ass off in this economy and it's still not being enough. The average American works over 40 hours and at minimum wage, that's still not enough to survive and, like, have any type of, like, house over your or roof over your head. And I think he kind of represents that, because we've never not seen Mars hustle. It's just like, most Americans, even if you have a skilled craft, you're still not making enough money. But, like, with Mars, he kind of represents the, like, millennial, like, people who don't really know what they want to do and are just trying to make ends meet. So I feel like that's where his struggle comes from, not from a lack of him, like, not hustling, because I think he hustles. Yeah.
Good stuff. But before we go further, because we love you guys, we just want to show you love and send you a message. Drew has a message for you.
Hey, AfterBuzzers. We want to thank you guys so much for watching this show, whether this is the first time you've seen our faces or not. Either way, we appreciate it, but we want to continue to give you guys dope content. So if you want, right now, like and subscribe to this channel and to a bunch of our other channels. I'm going to give you a second right now to like and subscribe. Okay, cool. You had enough time. If not, do it now one more time. Okay, you should have definitely liked and subscribed by now. We're also on Spotify and iTunes, so we do not discriminate against Android users, even though I don't like the green text bubble. But that's okay, because we have Spotify for you, so you can listen to us and our voices. Make sure to give us 5 stars. Leave us some comments. We love talking to you guys about the show. Let us know who you're rocking with. How do you feel about Mars and Nola? How do you feel about Winnie and Shemeka? Let us know. But for now, thank you guys so much for rocking with us and making us the ESPN of TV talk.
Yes, that was awesome. awesome. Thank you, Jerome. Thank you. Bad bitch. Okay. After 8 o'clock, I get a little nuts. If you guys can tell. If you watch any show that I'm on, if it's late, I'm crazy and delirious. Speaking about, I guess, not so delirious, Nola's campaign is finally out. It's in Brooklyn. It's all over the place. But it's not what Nola thought it was going to be. There's no color. It's black and white, and her name is splashed all over it. Miss Jamila has some explaining to do, and, you know, Nola feels like she didn't have her back. But then Jamila explains to her, like, look, sis, I, too, thought that I was in a bigger position, and I guess I wasn't. I wanted to fight for you, and you got paid, and I'm sorry. So what did you guys think? Did you guys think that Jamila really was sorry and that she was put in this position where the people, you know, because she said she was the only black woman in the office, and, you know, she said that they only used her for show. Like, they used this one black woman to work with the other black woman to get her in. So what were your thoughts about the whole Jamila and Nola situation?
It was super triggering just because I've been the Jamila of, like, productions. I mean, working in entertainment, a lot of times you are the only black person or person of color in the room. And a lot of times, you know, you are put there for looks, you know, because diversity is being called so much now that people don't want to necessarily change, but they want to have a face for it. And it hurt me for Jamila because I know what that's like, and I know that feeling. And I was kind of bummed with how Nola reacted to it, because I feel like Nola should know what that feeling is. And it's not like, instead of coming towards, you know, your fellow sister, like, understand that she really did fight for you. And it's kind of hard. It's a hard situation to be in when you're the only person of color, because you want to make the moves and you want to make the changes, but you're also, whether you want to or not, representing an entire culture and group of people. And so it's a really tough spot to be in.
Yeah, it's really tough. I agree. What about you, Mina?
Yeah, I think they both got played because, you know, Nola kept saying, oh, I'm the victim. I got played. Like, this wasn't my vision. Like, don't you know why it was so important for it to be black and white or whatever it was? And like the muted colors or the muted tones, whatever her vision was. And I get that, like, you know, like, she's an artist. She has a specific vision. She doesn't want her vision to be taken and, like, changed by a bigger company and watered down. And she was promised something. She was promised, we're not going to do anything without your consent, without your approval. And it's like, who gave this the green light? Like, usually when a campaign goes out, like, everything is, you know, established, like, everything is agreed upon, and then it goes out. Like, you don't just have something go out without some sort of pre-approval. So for Nola to find out by seeing it, it's like, that is such a slap in the face, and it's kind of like, oh, like, I have no autonomy. This company just did whatever they wanted, and I didn't get, like, the final, like, I didn't give the final okay for it. So I get why she was pissed, because that's super unprofessional for her to not have that final okay, and for there to be, like, a common understanding, this is what's gonna go out. Like, at least say this is what's gonna go out so she can say yes or no. Like, there's, like, some sort of contractual obligation that, like, should allow that. But at the same time, like, yeah, like, when Jamila was saying, you know, I guess I was just kind of being used to be this face, I was like, wow, that really sucks. Like, and that's so problematic. Like, you're gonna get the one black girl that works in the office to kind of reason with your, you know, your fellow black girl. Like, what? Like, that's so manipulative, and it's just, like, nasty. At that point, it's not about representation. It's just like, oh, you do it. Like, she'll relate to you.
And
like,
a lot of
you
companies do that.
Yeah.
Because I've gotten that as well. Like, oh, go, you talk to them. They'll get your language. It sucks. So I think, sorry to cut you off. I'll let you finish your thought.
No.
But I really related to that. I was like, damn. Okay, because at first I was pissed. I was like, come on, Jamila. But then I'm also like, okay, Nola, stop being so anti. Just get this check, pay your damn rent, and let's keep it moving. But then when Jamila spoke, I was like, oh, okay, girl, I feel you. Sorry to cut you off.
No, and when she said that, when she's like, yeah, like, I didn't know either. Trust me, if I did, I wouldn't have let that happen. I thought, because she's like, Nola was like, you told me that you had the final say of all of this. And she's like, I thought I did. And just that realization, like, where you have like the impression that you're in control, but you're not. Like, how degrading and humiliating. And at the same time, it's like, well, what are you gonna do? Fight back to a company when you also need to get a paycheck? You're also trying to come up in life.
Facts.
Like, what are you gonna do? Yeah. Like, and it's not like you betrayed Nola. It's like you didn't really have the control in the first place. And I guess from her perspective, she's like, honey, you're getting paid anyway. Like, why are you being so nitpicky? Like, feel blessed.
Yeah.
Like, feel blessed. Like, you have an opportunity that people would die for. Yeah. Like, now's not the time to be super nitpicky. And
I think they both were in these situations where you see where both of them are coming from. You see that Jamila, that Jamila had a job to do, and she kind of got blindsided, but she's like, oh, damn, my bad. And she, not only did the company pick her to pull in Nola, they put her there so she can explain everything to Nola. So she had to be like the face of the bad news, bearer of the bad news.
Yeah, and in reality, at least Nola got paid because most of these companies, I'm fortunate to have so many friends who are creatives and artists and designers and whatnot, and we've seen so many times where a homegirl of mine, Khloe Kardashian's company, ripped off a bunch of her designs, and she sued, but that's pocket change to these millionaires and these big companies and whatnot. So they were like, cool, sue us. Like, whatever, we're still making millions upon millions of dollars from your design. I mean, you think of the Fashion Novas, the Rainbows, all these, fast fashion companies who just rip off, especially young Black creatives, and then they never see a dollar of their hard earned wages. And it's just like,
no, you guys are absolutely right. Like, Nola actually got a big check.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where I think it's a lesson where she can learn to be like, you know what, now going forward, I might pick things a little differently, but I'm like, sis, your campaign's all over Brooklyn. It's beautiful. And maybe now for your solo show, you can do your own thing.
Yeah, and she was just focused. I don't want my name attached to it. Don't take pictures of that. And it's like, girl, you are so lucky.
Girl, enough. Stop being so anti. I get it, but you got that check. Pay that rent for that lady. Kick you out of that brown.
Factual.
Because it's expensive to live in New York City, as we all know. Bianca and Papo. Bianca and Papo have a moment. Bianca is the neighbor from season 1 who caused all the ruckus, where she called the police on Papo, and my man's had to do 18 months in jail for something he didn't do. And she calls him over, and I think Bianca has a realization that no one in Fort Greene likes her. There's no friends. She talks to the one white girl that walks by, and she's like, wait, literally no one likes me. But her and Papo have a conversation where I think a lot of people want, it's like that gentrification thing where people come in and they do certain things and they don't realize their actions and the bad things that their actions can cause. And she apologizes for Papo for calling the police, and she says, I thought they were just going to give you a warning. I thought that they were just going to do this, and I'm sorry they took 18 months away from you. What did you guys think about that exchange? And did you believe her?
This argument really was infuriating for me. It really upset me because, one, it's 2019 and white people know the repercussions of calling the police and all of these playing the victim and whatnot. And it's like, it's a little too late for that at this point. And just the apology, it's like, oh, I finally realized you're a human. Like, I finally realized that you were similar in the fact that we're both human beings. And when he was telling a story of, like, when she was like, why did you choose my stoop? And he was like, it used to be mine. Like, I don't know. Like, it just bothered me, not because of anything he did, but it was just like, all of these things have happened to this man. None of them that he put upon himself, all because of gentrification, all because of systematic oppression, all because of watch whiteness work. And it was just like, damn, cool, you're sorry was nice, I guess, but I'm still out here. My life is still completely dismantled. I still have this on my record. And when he was like, I have to go to work. Like, I work for the Department of Parks or whatever. And she was like, oh, silver lining. And it's like, no, bump your silver lining. Like, it just made me mad because it was like, your recklessness in your lack of care for Black and brown bodies, like, he was able to make this something beautiful because of his view and his choice and his, willing to survive and to prosper. It had nothing to do with you. You did nothing for him. And, like, it's just so gross to me. Like, there still wasn't I feel like there was still a lack of understanding from her. And it just, like, I don't know, it really rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah. What about you, Mina?
I felt like I was getting super emotional, and even like listening to you say that like so eloquently and perfectly, like summarizing what just happened, it was like, are you kidding me? Like, that's like literally watching someone get beaten and torched, and like watching someone get like punched in the face in front of you because you told someone to do it, and then you realize, oh my God, I'm sorry. Oh, does that change anything?
Yeah.
Does sorry change the fact that everything is broken now and he had to pick up the broken pieces? It doesn't fix anything. And the apology was so empty. It was so lacking in like understanding and empathy. It wasn't true empathy. She still was so filled with ignorance, and she tried to relate his struggle to her divorce by saying, oh, I went through this terrible divorce, and, I got all this money left to me, and I was like, why not buy a brownstone for 10 times the price that it was listed at because of gentrification? Like, she doesn't, like, really understand what she's done, and I'm not, like, necessarily saying, like, oh, it's her fault that all these things have happened, but she's benefiting from a system that puts her at top, and she doesn't recognize her white privilege. She doesn't have an understanding of that, and I think when you don't understand that and you think, like, you can compare oppression and be like, oh, I went through divorce and you went through this, it's like, it's not the same thing. You're not a black man in America. You're a white woman who, yeah, you have, struggles of your own, and, like, I can empathize with, like, you getting a divorce. That sucks, but it's, like, you're also, like, fortunate enough to be in a certain socioeconomic status as a white woman, have not just, like, white privilege, but financial privilege, and live in this, like, beautiful place, and this guy is gonna go to jail for something he didn't even do.
Right.
What is wrong with our society that is allowing this to happen and just perpetuating racism?
Yeah, it's literally retweet again everything you ladies said. It was perfectly said. And it's unfortunate because, and I love that he says, like, this was I grew up here in this building. And that's what that's what all people want people to know, because if you watch the news, it's the gentrification in DC where the black people would gather DC and the Metro PCS, they played their music, and someone tried to call the police, and I love that everybody got together and was like, you're not going to come into our neighborhood and tell us what to do, so we're going to play it louder. Or New York City, where I'm from, we have bodegas. Those are the stores on the corner, and every bodega has a cat. Everyone knows that. And someone in Brooklyn tried to call the animal control on the damn cat in the store, and it's just like, you can't come into people's neighborhoods no matter where it is and try to change and tell people what to do. And I think that's why gentrification is so heartbreaking, because then people who are from there in the culture, they get displaced and they get their homes taken away from them, just for someone to sit on her stoop and say, oh well, I'm so sorry, I didn't realize it. So I appreciate the apology, but like you ladies said, it's one of those things where it's like, do you even recognize,
but bump your apology.
yeah, like, do you even recognize the domino effect of what you did and you not understanding and accepting your white privilege?
Yeah, because real quick, there are a lot of people that are never going to get to hear somebody's apology because of some BS phone call to the police, and that's where it really bothers me, is the Mike Browns, the Trayvon Martins, the old boy who was walking into his own apartment and got shot because they thought he was breaking into his own apartment. Like, I just think of all these instances of these people who were just doing human things, like, who were just living their damn life and don't get to see another tomorrow because for some reason our blackness bothered you. And it's just like, I don't know, man, I was like, bump your apology. This is just like,
Spike is a great director.
Cut a check.
He knows how to. He's such a great creative, I believe, because he knows how to put those things in, because these things are real life.
Yeah.
We're getting things in the news, we're learning about more gentrification, and it's affecting a lot of people in these neighborhoods. But something good that came, not out of the Papa situation, well, something good came out of Papa's situation. Shout out to Ryan, our producer. I'm sorry, I just looked up and seen the word, and I'm like, okay. He got reunited with his daughter, which I think is beautiful. And I'm curious because I remember when Spike put up an ad and was like, we're filming season 2 of She's Gotta Have It, and I think they were having auditions for people. I wonder if that young lady was also part of the process. But our girl Shameka is doing big tings because she has a new business called Ting and Tingle.
Yes.
It's her new hair care line. And Nola hosts like a little get together for her and the ladies in the building, and Chloe is there, and we realize that there's some tension between Chloe and Nola, and as two best friends, and sometimes what friends have to do when they're doing business together, you either have to cut one off. Either you can't be friends or you can't be business partners. And both ladies expressed to each other how they felt. They both loved each other, but Nola had to break up with her best friend just for the business side of it. What were your feels about their conversation and their relationship, and did you guys see it coming and the tension between the ladies?
The tension was definitely very high between them, and we've had the subtle drops, the eye rolls, and all that throughout the season. And I thought it was a really beautiful conversation because it needed to be had, and everything was laid out on the table. But side note, I love that we got to see a black business supported with the Shemeka thing, because there was no like, oh girl, you my friend, just hook me up. You know, it was just like, it was a unanimous support for her, and I thought that was really nice to see on TV.
It was beautiful. Very, very beautiful. I want some tings in my hair. What about you, Mina?
Yeah, and I also love like the one white girl who was at the meeting, and she's like, "What is that?" And I was
What's
like,
the Bobo?
I was like, that would totally be me.
Like, we got you, Mina girl.
Got you, girl.
I'd be like, I don't know.
But then-
explain to me,
But then we
please.
would have your back and say, "We got you, girl."
But I'm just like laughing. But yeah, no, like we all saw it coming, and I love what Nola said to Chloe. Like, it's not what you say, it's how you say it, because she's so freaking arrogant and
Yes.
condescending. Like, the way she says things is so rude. Like, you can like have an opinion, but she just says it with like, you feel the judgment. It's like very, very apparent like how she feels, and I did feel like she was kind of being a hater, like, oh, like Shemeka's entrepreneurial spirit, it's like, can you not just support her and be happy for her? Like, you don't have to be thriving and successful and happy in your life to be happy for someone else. You can not be doing well in your life and still be happy for your friends. Like,
Exactly.
I'm not always doing well, but like, if I know someone who I really love, who I think is a beautiful person, is doing well, I'm gonna be happy for them.
Exactly.
And I just don't understand like I'm a competitive person, but I don't understand like oh, you're up and I'm not here, let me bring you down with my attitude and hate. Like,
The come up, the
don't
come
like
down, and the
that.
come around.
Yeah.
But I am happy that she was caught on it, and I'm
Yeah.
happy that the women bonded and they were speaking about love and businesses. So I really loved it. And of course, we got some dancing at the end, you know, so I thought that was really great. These were 2 great episodes, and we only have one more left, ladies, which is
do.
crazy. So this has been an exciting ride. But before we end the show, we have some really cool segments. Let's start with the first segment, our F, Marry, and Kill segment. If you don't know what the F stands for, I don't know why you're watching
Ask your
She's Gotta
mama.
I don't know why you're watching She's Gotta Have It, because episode 1 pretty much put it out there for us.
Baby.
So ladies, we did this season 1. Season 2, we have some new characters, so you can throw in women, men, whoever.
Okay.
If you had to choose F, marry, or kill so far, 8 episodes in season 2, not people from not the things that they were doing in season 1, but what they're up to in season 2, who would you pick? Who wants to go first?
So hard. 'Cause I have like 2 that I'd marry.
You can mix it up. While you ladies think, I'll go.
Okay.
From season 2, I would F Greer and his girlfriend
Factual.
because I feel like they're hot and steamy, and probably F Jamie. Sorry, he's hot. Lyric is hot. Okay, it's actually not F Jamie, it's F Lyric. So we'll put that in there. I would marry Mars and probably marry Winnie because it's
You
just.
just said that.
Oh, thank you. Kill. I would probably just kill gentrification.
Ooh.
The whole
Big
fucking-
tings.
whole fucking gentrification. Sorry, it has to go. So that's my F, marry, kill for season 2.
My F, marry, kill. Okay. F, Mars' sister.
Oh yeah, she's beautiful.
She bad. Mary, it's a tie between Winnie and Mars. I need like a Winnie and Mars hybrid in my life. If you out there, hit my DMs. And kill. Damn, the gentrification one was good. I don't want to copy that, but that was really
can.
good. Yeah.
Let's just get rid of it.
Or what's the guy who bought the building? Danton.
Oh, Danton.
Danton. Bye.
Him and his stupid name.
Bye, Danton.
Danton. Who names their child Danton? Sorry. Oh my God. Sorry. If you do have a child named Danton,
It's like-
love it. It's beautiful.
It's like in Mean Girls when he's like, my nephew Anthony. And you're like, what?
Like, why not Anthony? If your child's name is Danton, great. We just don't like this Danton from She's Gotta Have It. Don't come for me if your child's name is Danton. Mina?
Obviously F Greer. Kill the neighbor.
Yeah.
And marry Opal because my life will have so much structure. Yeah.
She would be like the perfect wife, mother.
I feel like you'd
Yeah.
work out with Opal.
Yeah.
You
And-
can handle
and I
Opal.
like the kid. The
Yeah.
kid I love. I'm
I
just
feel
marrying her for
like
the
you
kid.
and Opal would work perfectly because you guys would be so structured and perfect.
Yeah.
And I can use a little Opal in my life too to be like, girl, get up. And I'm like, okay,
good.
mom. Be my mom. Okay, let's get into our top 3 favorite moments of both episode 7 and episode 8. Mina, take it away.
All right. There were so many, but we're going to narrow it down to 3 from both episodes. And obviously, one of them is finding out that Mookie is Mars's dad.
Yes.
And Nakia gave you guys a lesson earlier that this is like Spike Lee tying everything together because Mookie was in Do the Right Thing. Yes. And yeah, so you had that explanation from earlier. Also, Puerto Rico being a huge theme, not just from these 2 episodes, but from the episodes prior. And, you know, as opposed to just showing the devastation, you know, showing like the beauty of the culture, the music, everything Drew mentioned earlier. And then finally, for me personally at least, the moments between Papo and his daughter, because I thought that was so beautiful. Like, you know, from going to being perceived as a bum, to like really getting your life together despite the terrible things that have happened to you, and turning it around and having your daughter come find you. Like, that was so touching that the daughter would want to reach out and reconnect with her father. And like, I'm excited to see that. I think the circumstances were so unfortunate, but it's beautiful that there still is like a light at the end of the tunnel for Papo, and I'm not saying it in the like annoying neighbor-like way of like, oh, I guess things are looking up. No, like, I'm genuinely happy that things are moving in the right direction for him.
Yes, beautifully said. Thank you, Mina. Come have a drink with me, Papo. Like, girl, I'll throw your dog. I won't throw our dog. Literally, I love animals. I feel like I have to just in case.
Animal control.
Animal control your dog. Great 2 episodes, ladies. Thank you for being with me to break it down. We only have 1 episode left. Episode 9. This is insane. My mind is blown. So because we have 1 episode left, let's just do quick predictions of what we think the
AfterBuzz TV prediction.
Yeah,
hard.
This is hard. While you ladies think, I'll throw out my predictions. We only have 1 episode left, but I do predict that Nola is going to go on this self-love journey, because we see at the end where she's bonding with her mom, and her mom's like, look, you got to find yourself. And we see her redecorating the bed area in her house. So I think that she's going to find this self-loving journey, and I do hope that this show does get a season 3. So we see a growing Nola. That's all I'll say, because everybody else, I'm not sure, but I think it's going to be about Nola last episode. At least I would hope so.
Yeah, I can see that. I hope it's not just about Nola, though, because I really like the subplots and the sub-storylines, especially, like, the kids, like I said. I hope we see more.
I know.
Especially, like, you know, what's going on with the divorce and, like, how it's affecting the kids, because, like, you know, I dealt with that, too. I know you mentioned dealing with that, too, as a kid. Yeah, it sucks. It really sucks. So I'd like a little more insight into that, and I want to know, like, what happened to the guy in the hospital? Like, oh, the Jason Kennedy.
I know.
He was so adorable.
I would like to see Jamie get in trouble for that.
Yeah.
Not Winnie, just Jamie. Winnie's perfect.
Yeah.
No one can talk, but yes, I would like to see
I
that.
want to see more of him. I'm actually interested in, like, his story and his character arc.
Yeah. I agree with all of those. I really want to see Nola for once be on her own, without any sort of love interest. Just like you said, a real self-love thing, just because that's what I really wanted at the end of last season, but we didn't get it, so I hope it's this season.
Yeah, it's very great, ladies. I'm so excited. I'm losing my voice because we've been talking nonstop about She's Gotta Have It season 2. Guys, we only have 1 more episode left, so make sure you guys check us back here Thursday night, because we are going to break down episode 9. Ladies, before we head out of here, let the fans know where they can find you guys at.
You can find me on social media at Mina Makes Magic, and you can catch me every Wednesday for TV pilot reviews, where we go over the pilot episodes of new TV shows.
Nice.
And you guys can catch me on the Society after show tomorrow night if you like Netflix at 7 p.m. And if not, you can slide into the DMs at All Things Okay Drew J.
Yes, you guys can find me on all social media at Kiki Boom Boom. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, everything AfterBuzz TV. I'm all over the place, but you'll see me back next Thursday. Bye, guys. See you next week.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.